Alright, it's time I actually talk about anime because, well, this is day 4 of the 12 days of anime, and so far I've pretty much been talking about everything except that. And yes, there are some Western shows I like, and yeah, video games are a lot of fun, but nothing gets me excited like a good anime. So today we are going to be talking about one of my personal favorites, Kill la Kill. I covered this anime as a whole back in my review of it a few months ago, and I was part of a podcast where we discussed basically everything about it, so go check those out if you want like my full opinion on the show. Anyway, I ended up rewatching Kill la Kill to make that podcast, and I was watching it along with friends, and I loved it even more than I did when I first watched it. It takes the action-adventure tropes I love, pushes them to the extreme, and is just the most fun anime I have ever seen. My favorite part of the show is the end, the final third or so, and how like everything comes together. You have these epic moments, amazing plot twists, and it just was pure incredible. But as great as those episodes are, and they are awesome, today I want to instead focus on the earlier episodes, specifically Episode 7. The early episodes of Kill la Kill were very villain of the week. Ryoko had some sort of villain to fight, typically a club president. She fought them and move on to the next episode. But despite the basic formula, every episode had some sort of twist to it which made it never feel formulaic. And Episode 7 is probably the most interesting from a thematic perspective because it takes this general idea, weaves in social commentary, and has just a very powerful story. This video will spoil Episode 7 of Kill la Kill, though I will try to be as vague as possible and talk about things outside of this episode. So with that out of the way, one of the big themes in Kill la Kill is family, and the importance of it, from those we're born with, to those we find through life, and those we rediscover along the way. This episode specifically takes a look at family and the joy that it brings, but how this joy can be lost by chasing a good life. The episode starts off with the poor Monconcho family enjoying the dinner together. They don't have much, but they have each other, and that's what matters. And I know this is kind of off topic, but can I just say that the music for the show is amazing? I rewatched this episode to make the video, and I am constantly blown away by how good the music is, how well used it is. Like the soft music in the beginning is just so emotional, and it only adds to the whole joy of family. I really don't think there's an anime out there that has a better soundtrack, and a better utilized soundtrack than Kill la Kill. Right, with that tangent out of the way, back to the themes and smart sounding stuff. So, as is usual, Ryoko goes to school, she's attacked by some club presidents, defeats them, and then she and Mako start talking. They're talking about the class system here, and how messed up it is. But Ryoko decides that she can take advantage of the system by joining it and starting her own club, being the president of it. Satsuki gives an interesting caution to Ryoko, to telling her not to let it go to her head. I love Satsuki, by the way. Then Ryoko learns that there's a ton of paperwork involved with running the club, so she instead makes Mako president. And then the club flourishes. Mako does all the paperwork, Ryoko beats people up as part of Fight Club, and they all live happily ever after. Well, not quite. Soon the family is moved to the one-star district, where they have a good life. They have all the comforts of modern society, like an indoor bath, air conditioning, and even an automatic dishwasher. All these things we take for granted every day. At least until your automatic dishwasher breaks and you have to wash dishes by hand, which kind of sucks. Something I say from experience. Hopefully I'll get fixed soon. Anyway, they have all these comforts that we take for granted, but it makes this family's life so much better. The family has dinner together, and there is so much joy for them here. This is a contrast from before, where back then they were content and happy with what little they had. Now they are filled with joy at all that they are able to enjoy. And Mako is overjoyed seeing her family's happiness, and she vows to work even harder as the club's president to make their life even better. And this is where things start to shift for the family. At this point, they have a wonderful life. They have all the comforts they could want, and more importantly, they have each other. Mako's desire is to keep bringing them more nice things, to make their life even better. A great motivation. She succeeds, and they get a truly luxurious life. They have it all. Rich food, fancy clothes, status, a house that does nothing but sparkle. But as they eat dinner, we see that things aren't the same. There's a distance between the family. They're all too busy to enjoy the company of each other. Mataro even complains about having rich people food again, showing how, despite the shiny life, there really isn't much there. It doesn't give them any happiness, or when it does, only a very shallow happiness. Ryoko feels alone, something she never felt with this family, no matter how poor they were. And Senketsu even asks if this is what Ryoko thought success would be like. So, Ryoko chooses she does not want this life. She would rather have a life back in the slums, so she quits Fight Club. This is a powerful message about success, and how it can be something we strive for so hard, only to discover that something important is lost along the way. So, when Ryoko quits Fight Club, Satsuki reminds her of the duty of a club president, and that is to fight Ryoko. Keep in mind who the club president of Fight Club is. Mako. And it just so happens that Mako's Goku uniform has been prepared for her, since she is in fact a club president. So, Mako and Ryoko fight. Mako needed to choose what is more important to her friendship or the luxurious life her family has. And so, she decides she wants to keep the life that she has and fights and attacks Ryoko. And then Satsuki makes the message oh so clear.
This is human nature, Matoi. Prosperity leads to greed. Greed leads to their downfall. One taste of a life of affluence and they're enslaved. Slaves to a system which I created. They are nothing more than pigs. Pigs in human clothing. Pigs that must be tamed by force!
Have I said I love Satsuki yet? Because I do. Throughout the fight, Mako eventually sees the truth, that they had all been blinded by greed, and that they were evil. This is a powerful indictment of humanity as a whole, how they chase success and the good life to the detriment of what actually matters. Success isn't bad. Enjoying the comforts and luxuries of life isn't bad. We see this when the family is given their one-star lifestyle. But so easily, the pursuit of success and happiness can just go too far, pushing family and loved ones away. And someone can justify all kinds of atrocities under the guise of maintaining a lifestyle that can't be given up. Or, as a wise man once said, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. This episode does have a happy ending though. Mako throwing away her Goku uniform, the family apologizing, and then going back to live a happy life, even if it is back in the no-star slums. This shows that it is possible to break the grip of greed, and it is worthwhile. The episode as a whole I just found to be so powerful, showing how greed fuels much of society and how morally bankrupt people can be in the pursuit of success. There's a whole system in place to push success, saying you need more, you'll be happy if you have more. But all this message ignores the fact that you can be very happy and content with what you have now. It may be true that the themes are not subtle or nuanced or anything like that here. And a lot of times I would dislike that as feeling like the show is coming on too strong. But in Kill la Kill's case, everything is done to the extreme. So an over-the-top message delivery only makes sense. And of course, Kill la Kill has amazing production values as always, making everything hit even more powerfully. Well, you could say from a plot perspective, not that much happened, and be right. It still works well as an episode because it is the perfect way to wrap up the sort of club president arc that the show is in to move on to the battles and the backstories of the Elite Four. Plus, we gotta look at how Satsuki takes here and how she sees people, something that becomes important later on. Plus, you got Mako in a Goku uniform, and she's quite probably the most powerful 2-star student, which, come on, Mako's awesome. Mako in a Goku uniform is even more awesome, so I can't dislike this episode. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed me talking about Kill la Kill, a show I never get tired of talking about. And join me tomorrow where I'll be talking about another show. Not completely sure which one yet. I should probably go through my list and figure it out, what I want to say. So I will talk to you then.